Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are looking at my newest customs, which are actually a 2-pack of customs for one customer. These are characters from a video game called Dark Savior. Now, I'm not super familiar with the game, but these characters are known as Garion for the male and Kay for the female. It's an older game that never got really too much attention for at least figures, so my customer wanted me to make both of these guys. Now, both of these characters had a few different designs, I guess, concept arts. So he had me kind of make my own composite of each of the characters. So they each have kind of a fair bit of work. It took me a while to get these guys done and to make them look the way I wanted them to look. But I'm pretty happy with the results, and so is my customer. So let's get them off the stand, and I can go through a little bit of what I did so you guys have an idea of how these guys came to life. Alright, we'll go over Garion first because he is a little bit more complex, but it's not too bad. So let's do that. So Marvel Legends base figures for both of these guys. For the upper body, I used, and including the thigh, so actually from the knee up, I used a shield agent, or whatever figure it is you want to choose. Any of that mold, that's what I used. And then I gave him new forearms. They are DC Universe Classics forearms, with DC Universe Classics hands. The head is a Marvel Legends movie Bucky, or Winter Soldier. And the lower legs are from the Protector, because I wanted to have the thinner legs. I don't know if you guys notice this, but most Marvel Legends these days have really thick lower legs. So I used a thicker body compared to the legs, and I used a thinner set of legs, and that gave me what I wanted. Plus it had better articulation for the ankles. I made a strap out of neoprene sheeting there so that the hip articulation could still function and we could still have that strap that holds that little guy in place down there. These are just some wires I connected to the torso and to the armor because he needed those. Everything on here that you see is sculpted. Nothing is prefabricated except for obviously these wires and then the neoprene strap. Everything for this entire chest piece, these shoulder pads, this shoulder, everything was sculpted and then put back together so that all of the articulation still functioned and everything still worked. The only thing I got rid of is the torso articulation because there was no way for me to put that chest armor on there and to maintain the articulation. The elbow tucks into this shoulder pad, The elbow tucks into that elbow pad there. The shoulder armor can tuck into the other shoulder armor. Just everything. I tried to make sure it was posable as possible. Though I don't necessarily recommend it because no matter what I do, I mean, it's still custom painted and flesh tone paints, even if they look smooth, they are still problematic. So anybody that's getting a custom out there, be aware that flesh tones are easy to scratch, so be careful with those. But anyway, everything still functions. He still has all of his leg articulation, all of his arm articulation. The knee pad is actually connected to the knee so that when he poses the figure from the knee down, it'll still work. I made sure the ankles could still work with everything, so that's about that. I did some variations in the finish. Obviously, we have some satin blacks and some flat browns and some satiny browns and some metallic gunmetal. Some green with some gloss over it and some various things like that. Oh, obviously the head. I had to resculpt Bucky's head for the hair because he has this really unique looking hair, so I did that. And then the hair is has a few different shades of yellow and some lowlights and highlights, and he has that scar across his face. That's all painted, obviously. And this guy. This I had to sculpt. Most of this was sculpted with epoxy sculptor Fixit Sculpt for all the armor and everything. The hair is sculpted out of a special compound that's flexible so it won't break if he does drop the figure. And then this guy was sculpted out of Super Sculpey, and then I baked it and connected it so everything would function together nicely. I use Super Sculpey for this because it's easier to sculpt out of and then just bake. And this stuff I couldn't bake it because it was on the figure, so I had to sculpt that with the Fixit Sculpt. So that's how that worked. So there's Garion. Oh, and I made a sword for him, obviously. Both characters had these kind of unique swords, so I just made them out of styrene, and I sculpted them and painted them, so he's got that unique looking sword. And then for this figure, I used some Marvel Legends figures, and I don't remember which ones I used. I know I used some of the female figures, if I can get the sword out of her hand. Let's see, which female figures did I use? I used Mystique, I think, for the upper body, because I needed that bra thing on there. Technically, Mystique's isn't a bra, but I was able to modify it so that it had the skin underneath there. And then I sculpted the entire jacket part on the upper body. She did lose her torso articulation, but there was no way for me to do that and make it look good at the same time. So sculpted everything up here except for the bra part. Sculpted the shoulder pads on her jacket because she has kind of like a poofy shoulder for a jacket, kind of 90s-esque. So I had to hollow out the torso, and then I had to sand down the shoulders and sculpt on top of it. So she still actually has most of her shoulder articulation. So that was that. And then the arms are a mix of various female figures. I just sculpted the sleeve thing on here and painted the rest. Sculpted the belt. Modified the legs. I actually put some shorter legs on this figure from... oh, you know what? It was not Black Widow. It was Mystique's for the upper body, and then the lower body, I think, was Scarlet Witch. It was Scarlet Witch from here to here, and then Wasp from here down. That's what it was. And then I sculpted the boot things on there and sculpted the pants so that she had all of those details. The head is Captain Marvel, maybe? I don't remember. I actually finished her before I finished Gary, and so it's been a while. But I'm pretty sure the head is Captain Marvel with all new hair. I had to sculpt that hair. Her hair is crazy, so I had to do something. And this is the closest approximation I could get to what she has in the game. She's just got this really weird hair. So that was that. And I sculpted the necklace on there. I sculpted the little bow thing for her hair. And then I just painted out the patterns on the pants and painted everything else up with some various colors. I sculpted back here to make it look like her jacket kind of thing hangs down a little bit in the back. And that was that. So these guys, I mean, it doesn't sound like they were particularly involved, but it was a lot of little things and a lot of calibrating and reworking parts over and over again to get these guys to come together, especially with the shoulder pads on the female, and then actually the shoulder pads and a lot of the other parts on the male. Lots of little things that take a lot of time and tedium, but I think they turned out pretty nicely. You guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm super happy with how they turned out personally, but I am a little bit biased. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.